What is up, guys, and welcome to my very dusty trophy cabinet. It's been a while since we've added anything to the collection, and we don't look like we're any chance of doing that anytime soon. Welcome to another episode of F1 2019 Career Mode. Oh man, how great would it be to pick up a trophy at the Monaco Grand Prix? It's our best chance. We probably won't get a trophy, but we'll hopefully get some points if luck goes our way. No developments to speak of this weekend. We're building towards something big. Hopefully after this race we can get some upgrades going in the chassis side and then really launch our development campaign from here. But first we've got to get through Monaco and hopefully springboard ourselves into the points.
Driving here is going to be a real test, not only of your skill, but also your discipline. Even on a conservative lap, those barriers are never more than a few inches away. Take a single liberty and you'll be in them. So focus on getting into a consistent rhythm. It's confidence first, speed second round here, okay?
Thank you, Jeff, for the words of encouragement. That really is the key to Monaco, not pushing too hard too early, just getting confident. And then, yeah, just ever so slightly building up your speed until you get to a point where you're pretty fast. But that's a lot easier said than done. Here we are for practice. We got through most of the sessions actually really easily. I really like it when we've got good pace because it means I don't have to work on setup all too much, and I kind of breeze through the sessions, gives me a lot of confidence, and this is certainly a circuit that gives me a lot of that. Very much a driver's circuit. So here we are in, I think, practice 2. This time around we're pushing the limits that little bit more. You can see this lap has got a lot more vigor to it. And yeah, we're really ringing these soft compound tires, so pretty much all that they're worth for a qualifying sim run. It puts us on provisional, well, it puts us top of the session when I set the time. But come the end of the session, despite everyone or a lot of people chucking on softer tires, we end up in P2 for practice in the Monaco Grand Prix in the slowest car. The slowest car. I don't understand what's going on. Like, I've not lowered the difficulty or anything. It's just a combination of many things. Me being quite OP around this circuit, I've chucked on every inch of downforce that I can put on this car, and it seems to be working. I think some of our competitors haven't chucked in the absolute best times that they can put in. Maybe they're holding back a little bit, extra fuel. Maybe not don't have as much confidence as what I did. I don't know. But they certainly weren't up to scratch, and we'll see what they can do when it comes to the qualifying session itself. Still running with my original engine components as well, which is pretty insane. The longevity of this car is insane. That's one thing that Toro Rosso has worked on, so we don't need to worry about that too much. But speed is the thing that we've been lacking, but thankfully we have it this weekend.
We're here at the magical Circuit de Monaco for one of the most challenging qualifying sessions on the Formula One calendar. Who can add their name to the illustrious list of Monte Carlo pole sitters here today?
Imagine. Could you imagine if it's us in a Toro Rosso? I don't think it's going to be, but we'll do our best to get as close to that mark as what we possibly can. I'm willing to bet that we're going to get out of qualifying 1 today. To be honest, if we don't get out of qualifying 1 today, I'll be pretty disappointed in myself, to be honest. We got very, very close in the last episode in Spain. Quite unlucky not to do so because I was conserving tyres, but this time around we won't make such mistakes. First lap in the books, and you can see we actually lost a bit of our front wing, run massively wide at Rascats as well for good measure. So it's not been a great start to this Monaco qualifying session. We come across the line and we do a 109.3, which is pretty much on the mark of what we did in practice. This time around we do have an extra engine mode to play around with, but we did lose the front wing and had a messy third sector. So if I tidy up those small elements, we'll be in the 8s, I reckon, and that should surely see us through into qualifying 2. My teammate 4 tenths away from us at this stage. He needs to improve a little bit as well. Kvyat has also been knocking on the door of a Q2 appearance, so hopefully he can follow me through in this session. It remains to be seen whether he can lift to our level. 7 tenths up as we go through the middle sector. We really rushed the Nouvelle chicane, but still managed to get out of there quite easily with a nice exit. 6 tenths up as we head through to the third sector now. And this is where we lost all of our time last lap. Oh, we've hit the wall again. We've hit the wall again at the exact same spot. Maybe not as hard this time, and we haven't gone in too deep into Raskas. Final corner was a lot more clean as well. But despite all of that, we're still going to improve by 0.6 and move ourselves into Q2 for the first time this season with an orange front wing. Albeit we only had to do 2 corners with that orange front wing, but we get through nonetheless. P11, where is my teammate? Last. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. This car is better than 20th place at Monaco. I will say that much. Danny, you've let yourself down with not only your performance, but probably the setup as well. Should have been copying me. But, yeah, he's been left for chips. He'll be starting last in this Monaco Grand Prix, and he'll have next to no hope of getting some points today. So it's going to be all down to us as we now move into Q2. I did thankfully save 1 set of brand new tyres for this session, for this second session. So we should hopefully have a good run at this. I did 1 lap on old softs, and they felt horrible. Oversteer for days. So I'm not rating my chances of maybe actual race pace. We'll really need to look after those rear tyres if we want to sustain a good result tomorrow. But new tyre pace seems to be pretty strong. So here we go for the end of the session. New tyres are on. Bare minimum worth of fuel. Maximum downforce. And let's see what we can muster up in this qualifying session. Let's hopefully not lose our front wing this time and actually see what the, I don't know, absolute potential of this car is. Middle sector. It's not our strongest. Actually, our weakest sector is sector 1. We don't have any straight line speed at all. We've chucked on maximum downforce and we're just chucking away shed loads of time in a straight line. But we gain it all back in the medium to high speed corners. Sector 3 is an absolute dream for us. So here we go. Sector 3 to back. Could have actually gone through there a little bit faster, to be honest, but I was playing a little bit safe on this lap through to the swimming pool chicane, and that certainly wasn't playing it safe, flying through the curbs there into Raskas and the last corner. Oh, we've run wide there. That's going to cost us a couple of tenths, unfortunately, but we're 8 tenths up. We come across the line and we go P13 in this Monaco qualifying session, 4 tenths away from a qualifying 3 appearance, which I think was out of reach, in all honesty. We probably lost about 2 tenths maximum in the last corner, which might have got us P12 with Carlos Sainz, but it's a good starting position for the race. We've actually passed our hard team goal of getting P14 in qualifying, so we've beaten that. That'll be 600 points resource point for us, which will be absolutely crucial for our development. But it gives us a good starting position for the race. We'll start on the medium tyres, run long into the Grand Prix, hopefully overcut some people who start on softs. And who knows from there? Hopefully they can get tangled up in some traffic. And yeah, we can do the overcut and maybe get a point or 2 if people crash or have reliability issues. Anything is possible at Monaco. And we have simulation damage to trip up the AI and myself along the way to the finish at the end of lap 39. So let's move on to the Monaco Grand Prix. And hopefully this is the race where we get a point.
Take a deep breath and enjoy the moment. It's a very special time of the season once again, as we prepare for racing here this afternoon. There's no better tested driver, no more prestigious race to win, no bigger an occasion than the Monaco Grand Prix. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Can we begin by having a chat about Sergio Perez? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please.
No, Jeff. I'm the driver, so I will be steering the ship into Saint-Devote with a lot of vigour. Welcome to the Monaco Grand Prix. We're starting in P12 because Sergio Perez has a penalty of sorts, which gives us an even higher chance of getting some points today. Away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix, and it looks like a pretty good start. We now draw alongside the 2 McLarens as we head into that magical corner, and we find a position because of our heroics into turn 1, and we are one spot away from the promised land of some points, which is all we want out of this weekend. No more gimmicks, no more stupid strategies waiting for rain to come when it's quite clearly not going to happen. We are going to force the issue and take matters into our own hands to try and get some points up the inside of Hamilton into the Lowe's hairpin. Nearly got squeezed into the wall there, which is not what you want on the opening lap, but I figured that our best chance of getting points is to try and strike early if we can. We've now got Carlos Sainz on the attack as we head into the middle sector. That's not going to work out too well for him, and I think he's chipped off a bit of his front wing there. Side by side into that corner just doesn't work, especially when you're not even alongside. But yeah, Sainz might have an early pit stop, I'm not too sure. But yeah, we are holding down P11 for the moment. Lewis Hamilton is the best placed car in the field on the medium tyres. So I feel like if we can get the edge on Hamilton, if we can somehow get in front of him, we'll have the best chance of getting not only some points, but some really good points inside the top 10. At this stage, I actually feel like I've got better pace than Hamilton. Can't really explain why, but the car seems to be responding well on the medium tyre. So if I can get half a chance on Hamilton, I'll take it, because you never know what might happen later on in the Grand Prix. The guys on the softs might actually pull away from us. You just never know. So I just want to not take any chances and just get myself in a points-paying position and just fight tooth and nail for the rest of the Grand Prix to hold on to it, to be honest. So we'll see what we can do. We are actually going to box for softs towards the end of the race and finish off the race strong. It looks like it's a faster race strategy, so we'll see how that works out for us. But yeah, Hamilton doesn't exactly have the pace of the soft compound runners at this stage. We're trying to put him under maximum pressure here. We've underfueled the car as well to make it a little bit faster. We don't need maximum fuel revs all the time. We actually want to be conserving fuel quite a bit and just looking after the rear tires by being in lean and lower battery modes. But at this stage, we're just burning fuel, trying to make the car lighter, and you know, also trying to get in front of Hamilton at the exact same time. Can we go up the inside into the Lowe's hairpin? We tried this already once before. It didn't work out quite well, and again, doesn't really work in our favor for the second time. So I think we might have to think about another area of attack around this circuit, because it's just not quite working out for us here. Slow speed isn't really our friend. I think high speed is going to be more of a beneficial area for us to attack because of our downforce. And we're lucky to get away with no damage there, as we pretty much leaned on Hamilton's left rear tyre throughout the entirety of Lowe's. But yeah, back to the drawing board, and we'll see if we can muster up something maybe in the third sector, because this is where we seem to be strong. We get great rotation through the Lowe's hairpin, not Lowe's hairpin, through the Novel chicane, then through to back we're okay, but the swimming pool chicane is where we make up all of our time. So I think attacking into Raskas is the area to go. Hamilton goes defensive, leaves the door open, but we slam that door shut with a move up the inside, and we are now in the points in this Monaco Grand Prix. 8 laps in, and we now have a point against our name. We really had to risk the car in order to put ourselves in a position to dive up the inside into Raskas. But we've got it done, and we are now in the promised land. How's this for an overtake? Hamilton going defensive, right up against the wall, and we squeeze through. We give Hamilton a little bit of a touch on the way through, but I would say that is on the cleaner side of dive bombs, especially at a tight circuit like this one, and now we're in P10. Next up is Magnussen. He's in the Alpha, which is, I think, the second best car in the field, but he's getting boxed in by the likes of the Haas's and the Renault of Pierre Gasly, who's really pulled out a mad one in this qualifying session. The Renault is one of the slower cars in the field, but he's managed to do a Benjamin Daly and put his car in a position that it really shouldn't be in, so he's forming a big train at the moment. The two Red Bulls, if you look on the minimap, they're absolutely flying away with this Grand Prix. Then it's daylight back to the nearest car in third, which is a racing point, and then there's another big air gap to this little train here, which we are part of now. So yeah, it's really opening up in this race. I feel like maybe we could overtake a Williams or a Haas we could definitely get the Renault maybe later on in the Grand Prix by virtue of their slower pace, but they all dive it in at the same time, and I'd say they're going to hold each other up in the pit lane. It'll be interesting, though, to see if they rejoin in some traffic, albeit behind like a Mercedes or something. That'd really help out our race, and we'd be able to overcut them potentially. But here's the race director. You can see Lucas Weber has already stopped in this race. Daniel Ricciardo is the lead car who has also stopped, so I think he was the guy who was running in P3 in this race, but unfortunately the guys who just stopped they haven't really emerged in any traffic, so if we're going to perfect the overcut on those guys, we're going to have to do this on raw pace, so that'll be awfully difficult, you would have to say. There's a yellow flag in the middle sector that looks like it's an Alfa Romeo. It could be Kevin Magnussen, who just made his stop. He goes for a move on Pierre Gasly, I think, but it doesn't work out. He clips the inside barrier at the Nouvelle chicane, and that is a whole shed load of time lost with that move. Really is hard to overtake at this circuit. Even the AI can do it, but they have to put the car at risk in order to do so, and K-Mag has just fallen up a little bit short there, just misjudging where the barrier was. But anyway, back to our race. We're running around pretty cleanly now in P3. Everyone has made their stops for the most part, who started on softs. But Hamilton, as you can see, is actually starting to close back into us ever so slightly. I think tyre wear is coming into it.
Hamilton behind, the heat gap to the car behind is 2.3 seconds. They're on all mediums. Their tyres are 19 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Their time last lap was a 1 minute 12.9.
12.9. Let's compare what that looks like up against this lap from us. But I feel like the balance of power is coming back into Hamilton's favour. We come across the line. We do a 12.9, which is exactly the same as Hamilton's pace. But, you know, we built out a little bit of a gap in the first 10 laps or so. But now I feel like he was coming back towards us. He now makes his stop. So too does Lando Norris. He goes onto the hard compound tyres. Now, this is going to be very interesting for the rest of this race, because I have a sneaky suspicion that we might be able to be just as fast, maybe even a little bit faster than Hamilton and Norris on their new hard tyres. I feel like these old mediums might be just that little bit quicker at this point in the Grand Prix, and if we can just hold on to their pace for the next 5 laps, we'll be in a really good position come the end of the race, because we'll be boxing for softs, which are going to be, I don't know, 3 seconds a lap faster than anyone on hards. So I really fancy our chances towards the end of this Grand Prix, and I'm putting in absolutely qualifying laps at this stage to try and maximize my opportunities come the end of the Grand Prix. But meanwhile, we have Daniel Ricciardo on used mediums in the Racing Point. He's closing us in quite massively at this point. But I'm getting to the stage where it's time to stop, and I want to stop before Ricciardo gets too close to me. But we've managed to make it to the point where it's our pit window anyway, so this has come at the perfect time, and we'll be coming in on this lap. So let's maximize that pit entry. Oh my goodness, that was a little bit too much throttle into the final corner, but that's actually done me wonders, because that rotated the car perfectly and got me in at the perfect angle. Look at this. Formula Drift stuff. That is absolutely awesome. So here we go. On to the soft compound tyres. Thank you, mediums. You've done me an absolute wonder in this stint. Pretty much used them for all they're worth. And now this is the top 10. Kevin Magnussen holds down that singular point that we need, but he's going to be quite slower than us, despite having a much faster car. His old mediums will be no match to us on fresh softs. He's also getting boxed in as well, still by the Renault of Pierre Gasly, I believe. So he's doing an absolute wonder for us, just holding everyone up. He's got Sergio Perez in front of him. A lot of quick cars that we need to overtake, but this tyre will give us every opportunity that we need in order to get some points. Fastest up to the Grand Prix, 109.4. Crucially, we actually got out in front of Hamilton, which I was surprised by. I thought he would have been very, very close to us, if not maybe even slightly ahead of me by the time I came out of the pit lane. Maybe got held up by traffic, I don't really know. But he's not had a good middle stint of the race, and that is proving true with the gap to him. It's literally 10 seconds. It's insane. But anyway, 8 laps left in this race. and the gap is literally nothing to myself and K-Mag. I need to strike early because these softs will start to die off towards the end of this race, and our best chance of getting in front of him is pretty much now while he's tucked under the rear wing of Sergio Perez and also Charles Leclerc also in the Williams. So let's see if we can maybe go for a dive here into Raskas. We are pretty close. Here we go up the inside. He leaves the space and we are through now for a points paying position once again in this race. 8 laps left in this race, and all we need to do now is hold on. But judging by the pace difference we have at the moment, we could probably go for a little bit more than P10 at this stage as Sergio Perez a little bit slow into Raskas. Let's see if we can do the under and over. We might get him into the last corner. That is amazing traction into the final corner. We've got Sergio Perez as well, and we are through for P9. 2 points against our name. Actually 3 if you count the fastest lap, which is still currently against our name. What a miraculous turnaround in this Monaco Grand Prix. Who says overtaking isn't possible? Sergio leaves the space. He had to, otherwise he was going into the barrier on the outside, and we are through now for P9. Tyres are still holding out pretty decently, 26% on the left rear. So we've got every chance of maybe getting another position or 2 in this race. We might run out of time though, but we'll do what we can to strike while the iron is hot. Not quite close enough to Charles Leclerc this time around. Thought about maybe another dive into the last corner, but we're just not quite close enough. At this stage, the advantage that we've got on these tyres is starting to slip away at this stage, but we still got a handy little lead or advantage at this stage. But we're just trying to, set up the move, try and get in a position where we're close enough to have a dive. Middle sector isn't great for us, and like I said earlier on in the video, Sector 1 is just a no-go. We're just too slow in a straight line to really do anything about it. Sector 3 is where we have to make these opportunities work for us. Charles Leclerc closing the door a little bit earlier than what Sergio Perez was this time. Maybe he's been informed by his team to watch out in Sector 3 because that's where we seem to be pretty darn strong. And Sergio is actually right on the back of us once again, so he's keeping the pressure on us if we make a mistake. I really need to watch out in Sector 1 because, like I said, I'm very slow through there, and if I get too tangled up in battling the cars ahead, I could leave myself vulnerable to those behind, and all that hard work we've worked on so far could go up in smoke as we go for a desperate lunge up the inside into Raskas. We've actually touched the inside barrier like we did in YouTuber Championship a couple of years ago, and now we're under pressure, just like I said 2 seconds ago from Sergio Perez. Here he goes around the outside into turn 1. He's got DRS. Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix, so we nearly got lapped in this race, but thankfully we have the traction to outdrive Sergio Perez at turn 1, and I think we have negated that horrible run we got onto the last corner. But looks like we're going to hold on to P9 at this stage. Got a little bit too eager there with the battle with Charles Leclerc, and it nearly undid everything we did the whole weekend. But we should be able to hold on now with a couple more corners to go. Tyres are actually still pretty good, but my mistake has just really prevented us from having any more opportunities at better positions. But regardless, it is points at Monaco.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a good finish. Well done.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
What a race. What a day. We're on the board now in this Toro Rosso. But I've got to say, it's quite scary how far ahead Red Bull is in the development race. They were miles ahead. Max Verstappen nearly lapped us. And wow, okay, look at the gap from Verstappen to Weber. Verstappen really dominated the field. 47 seconds to his teammates. In the grand scheme of things, we're actually not too far away from Lucas Weber. So I don't know what Max Verstappen was smoking today. But whatever it was, it has given him some amazing performance in today's Monaco Grand Prix. That is absolutely unbelievable. Red Bull certainly are the team to beat now in this season of career mode. We get the fastest lap, which is an extra point for us. So 3 points against our name, which is going to do us a world of good in the driver's standings. Speaking of which, we now shoot up into P14. And, yeah. Good starting point for this season. Points. To be honest, I thought we might have snagged a point or two by this point before Monaco, but I'm glad that we've now got points on the board at this stage. We leapfrog Mercedes in the constructors, and that could be the difference. Like, Mercedes might struggle to get more points for the rest of the season, and that could be the crucial turning point in the season that we need. We'll see what the damage is in terms of resource points as well. We've also beaten our teammate in the rivalry, so that'll be an extra few resource points as well. So it's all coming up Millhouse in this episode. So thankfully, we'll actually have some points to spend and have something to show for all the hard work we've been putting in over the last few episodes. We have been coming up short here or there with race strategies, but today we played it safe on strategy. But we left our talking. We left our. What am I looking for here? I really did the talking on the track. That's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, now we can get into the developments and really start to close in those teams that are above us in the development race. Anyway, enough waffling. We're gonna work on the chassis, which is something I've been neglecting for far too long in this series, mainly just due to points. I haven't had enough to really spend, and now we have enough to do a department efficiency upgrade, and we can also do the major weight reduction upgrade, which we've been trying to do for so long, but we just haven't had the points, and we're able to do two birds with one stone there, and we can have that upgrade on in time for, well, not Canada, France. It's the French Grand Prix that'll be going on for. So come the midpoint of the season, we'll be in a very good position to get regular points, I would say. But now it's just a case of waiting for those upgrades to flow in. We have a major drag reduction upgrade heading our way to Canada. But until then, we have no upgrades in the pipeline. So the next race in wherever the hell it is. No, it is Canada. Just ignore everything I'm saying. I haven't eaten today, so that's my excuse for being an absolute melt in today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you need to see plenty more racing game content. I can't believe I didn't lose my front wing on Hamilton there. We got very, very lucky. I had many points in today's Grand Prix. We had to drive the absolute socks off this car in order to get some points. But I'm glad we've got there now, and we can strive towards more points finishes for the rest of the season. Until the next video, the Canadian Grand Prix. I'll see you next time.